Hello and welcome to the Chat and Dematt podcast brought to you by Christies Direct. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we are going to be chatting to you about everything student grooming. So from what students should have in their starter kit to the differences in learning through a training school and learning at home or online. So we are joined by a very special guest today. He's the owner of the Bargain Beauty Spa and Grooming School in Derry, Londonderry. He was also the Christies Direct brand ambassador for 2020 and he was on BBC One's Pitch Perfect. It's Michael Shiels. So we caught up with him at his grooming school. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
So I know how you got into grooming was quite a fascinating story. So do you want to maybe just tell us a bit about that?
Years and years ago, I got a little dog and he's passed away there a couple of weeks ago and he was 16 and a half, just touching borderline 17. And I took him to a groomer's and got him groomed and whatever. And I thought, you know what? I would love this type of job. I would love to do this. I was working in the hospital at the time as an NA and I was doing a wee bit of barbering as well, done a bit of barbering. And I got my dog home and I thought, you know something? I would love to do this kind of job. This job would be great. And then the groomer done a good job, but I decided a couple of weeks later to try and do a wee bit myself, to try and tidy it up a bit, because it was a wee bits of hair here and there that was all over the place. So I decided to put them up on the kitchen table, get out my barber and stuff and tidy them all up. And I sent a friend of mine a photo and to say, what do you think of this? She says, who done that? And I says, me. She says, Jesus, it was only done a couple of weeks ago. And I went, well, I tidied it all up and whatever. And that's where it all started off. I never thought in my life that I would ever be working with dogs up until that point. And then I looked up for a course and I couldn't find anything. And I phoned a man that I know who had just passed his course. And that's where it went from there. He told me where he went and done it. And then I've contacted that person. The man's passed away now, a very famous groomer, Colin Angus. And he took me on as a student. And away I went. And learned how to become a dog groomer. And the rest is history. It just went from there to where we're at today. And that was all those years ago. I was also working full time as well. So I only done it part time and I didn't really do much grooming for maybe 7-8 years. I did on my friends, families, neighbours, because I was working full time in the hospital. And then about 7 years ago, started to go part-time, 8 years ago maybe, in the hospital. And then I just kept going from there. And then about 6 years ago, took the plunge just to give up the hospital and go with this full time. Now I did a wee bit of teaching and things with friends and people that I know, showing them how the ropes, how to groom dogs and whatever, about 8 years ago. And then it just escalated from there then. And then here we are, Michael Shiels Academy. And I don't know, I sometimes have to pinch myself and go, how did this happen? How did this become of what it is? It was just madness where it just came from. And then I think it was about 7 years ago, I went and done my City and Guilds exams, and the examiner, very famous woman, said to me, do you teach? And I said, no, I do a wee bit there, here and there with my friends and that. I've taught a few people, but I don't have a qualification that I can actually give out to people. Yeah. And she said, well, I've given you the highest marks on your 3 exams that I've ever given anybody. And she says, contact me and we'll get you sorted of what avenues you have to go down to become a City and Guilds centre. Yeah. And it just escalated from there. Just went from there.
So obviously you just described your journey there and what an amazing one it's been. But you were actually our brand ambassador last year and you were also on Pitch Perfect. Is there anything about those experiences that you think have really helped your career? What you enjoyed most about them?
I loved both of them, to be honest with you. And Christies Direct was a massive opportunity for me. The last events manager asked me to come for a meeting with Colin Christie. I thought, God, what am I going there for? And he asked me to be the brand ambassador for that year, which I was delighted. I was delighted, to be honest with you. Now, it was a bad year, as you know yourselves, with COVID and everything else, but we did get a lot in and we did do a lot of videos and things, and it was really, really good. Massive platform for anybody out there that gets that chance to be the brand ambassador, it was a massive platform and it was really good, and it got me a lot of recognition all over the country. I had my own followers and my own recognition through Facebook and competitions and things, but then Christie's, like, I was doing a webinar and there was people from Texas and there was people from all over the world at this webinar, and some of them were saying, I don't understand him. And we had a laugh, about it, and we had a slower speech down and talk really slow. Brilliant platform for both Christie's and me, and I really, really enjoyed it. The Pitch Perfect was amazing. I know there was a bit of controversy about dying dogs and all this kind of thing after it, and there was a lot of people going, oh, this, that and the other, but I can assure you that the dying of the dogs was 100% natural. It was wash in, wash out, dye. You put it in, and 2 seconds later, if you want to wash it out, you just washed it out. It doesn't stay in the coat, and the dogs loved it. Some people say it's not fair on the dogs, but the dogs loved it. Pitch Perfect platform was unbelievable. Yeah. It got me on the BBC, which I never thought I was going to be on the BBC. I never thought I was going to be in TV ever in my life until then. And I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a good experience. Another massive platform for you as well to get you recognised and get you out there. For me, I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. I like to be in the limelight and the public eye. And that's just me. Not everybody's the same. But I like that. And them two platforms, Christie's Brand Ambassador 2020 and Pitch Perfect, was amazing experience, and I would do it all over again if I got the opportunity.
I suppose it does put you front and centre, and it kind of just shows off your skill. And I think the great thing is about Pitch Perfect and things like that was it shows how much work goes into being a dog groomer and how much you have to know, because I think a lot of people just think, oh, it's just cutting a dog.
Exactly. There's a lot of health and safety issues with dogs and things. They're standing on a table. They're 3 times the height that they should be off that ground. They have to trust you. It takes time to build up that trust and rapport with dogs. People don't understand, the amount of work it goes into it. Like, from the dog comes in the door to you get it on that table, to prep that dog, you get it to the bathroom, you have to bath and blow dry that dog. Some dogs are very nervous. It's not like going to a hairdresser's where somebody sits there and gets their hair washed and it's really easy. Like, a dog could be running around that table like non-stop. It's constant. It's a physical job, and to be honest, it's one of the most rewarding jobs that I've ever done in my life. Very therapeutic, and you learn different things every day. Even now that I'm teaching it and I'm here all these years grooming and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I'm still learning every day, because not every day you get the same kind of dog and you get a new challenge. There's a lot of cockapoos coming through, a lot of mixed breeds now where everybody's all into these new designer dogs apparently. But grooming's very, very therapeutic, and I love it. And I love teaching it. Yes. I love bringing people on, getting their skills out of them, making them happy. They're going out that door and they're opening their own businesses. They're happy. I don't know if they're all happy. Don't get me wrong. But 9 times out of 10, I do feel that they're all happy, and they come back with great reports. So,
well, that was going to be the next thing that I was going to ask you about, is what made you initially move from doing, just grooming into the teaching role?
The initial thing was, for me, I taught a friend called Sharon. She doesn't groom anymore due to health issues, and she came and worked for me, and then I started teaching just the odd student here and there, maybe 1 or 2 a year, and just playing about with it, to see if I liked it. And I loved it. And then, as I say, I'd done these exams with one of the big examiners for City and Guilds, and she said, oh my God, you should be teaching this, that and the other, you should be doing this and doing that. And I said, but I don't have a qualification to hand out, because at that time we didn't need qualifications. Mm-hmm. I wasn't qualified. I only got qualified 8 years ago. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then I started moving on to doing different things, different qualifications, bettering myself and making myself that much more experienced in the teaching role of things. But getting into it, it was sort of fluky that I got into it, because somebody said it to me and I was doing it anyway, but I hadn't got the qualification to hand out. And then I contacted them and they set me all up and done everything with me and supported me and took me through all the steps, and voila, we're here. and now it's massive. We have a big school, probably one of the biggest schools in Ireland.
Yeah.
It is huge, and we're very busy, and we've got the 3 tutors, that's including myself, and we're just loving it.
So I'd like to welcome you to Quickfire Questions. We ask our guests a range of quickfire questions and they have to answer on the spot. So we asked Michael, what does he prefer? This round of quickfire questions was brought to you by Chris Christensen, the perfect choice for show groomers and in your salons as well. So welcome to Quickfire Questions. I'm going to be asking Michael here, what is his favourite? So design a dog or Chris Christensen?
Chris Christensen at the minute.
Straight or curved scissors?
Both.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Baby Fresh or Original Cologne?
Original Cologne.
Cockapoo or Labradoodle?
Not much of a difference.
Small dog or big dog?
Any.
Movies or box sets?
Movies.
Creative grooming or breed standard grooming?
More breed standard, but I love creative as well.
And then grooming or teaching?
Both.
What would you say for somebody who's maybe starting out in grooming or looking to go to a grooming school? What are the things that they should maybe look out for in that school?
Look out for recognition. Look out for a reputable school. Look out for, well, all schools are reputable if they've got a qualification because they have been assessed through the governing body. We also do satellite centres. Yeah. We've one in Belfast and we will be branching out into more, but this is our first year doing the satellite centre, so it's an umbrella under my name. So it'll be Michael Shiels Academy and then your own school under that. Yeah. So what we do is I would be the IQA for that, and I would assess the tutor's work, not the students' work for other centres. And we've been branched out that this year. So we'll see how that goes, and we're only taking one on for the first year, and then we'll see how it goes in the future, and we'll maybe branch out more and more. And my plans are to probably have a chain of groom schools around Ireland in the future. Ah. But we're not talking about that one yet.
We'll talk about that. That's an exclusive, everybody.
Exclusive.
And with the satellite schools, how do those people wanting to set up under that get involved?
Well, they have to be fully qualified. Then they have to work towards their teacher's qualification. They have to have an experience, at least 5 years, I would say, of teaching or not teaching, grooming, and have a wee bit of a recognition for themselves. And then they have to go through a teacher's qualification, which is a level 3 teacher's award. They have to then they have to have their full diploma qualification, and if they want to work on and get maybe their level 4 dog grooming qualification, or their ICMG, or their master craftsman, or whatever it is they want to do to make themselves that wee bit better in what they're teaching, then we can support them in all that as well. And then the satellite centre itself, it means that say you were a dog groomer and you were grooming for years and years and years, then you wanted to open up a school, then you can come to the likes of me, you can go to ICMG, you could go to City and Guilds, you could go to OCN, any of those governing qualifications. You can go and you can approach them and say, look, I would like to become a satellite centre or a satellite branch of your centre and teach this qualification, and then they would assess you to see how far on you are with your career and put you through the relevant qualifications for you to be actually open up a centre. And then that centre is you're an umbrella of, say, Michael Shiels Academy or City and Guilds or whatever, iPet Network or whatever. So that's how it works. And then we support them through their teaching career and make sure that they're doing everything right.
So whenever you are teaching your students, now this is probably a very difficult question to answer, but what is the most important lesson that you teach them?
The most important lesson that I teach my students is to be calm, and always, always, always the dog's best interest is to keep them safe and secure within your company. You're not allowed to leave them dogs unattended, and there is certain things we use like restraints and neck nooses and things like that. You're not allowed to walk away from dogs. All workstations that we have out there, as you've seen yourselves when you're walking through, have their own workstation with every tool that they need, so that they don't need to leave them dogs unaccompanied and walk around the salon. It's all about the health and safety of the dog and the health and safety of others around you. So if you spill something or something's on the floor, pick it up, clean, and health and safety of the dog and your care. That's all we expect. And then everything else, we will coach you through it step by step by step by step.
And what would you say to people who maybe don't pass through the course the first time, or they're struggling with it? How do you support them?
Well, our courses run for 30 days. It's 29 days in-house practical, and then 1 day first aid. With K9 first aid, we run a class for that. What we do is we train you up as best as we can. We can only get out of you what you put into it. All right, so we train you up. We work with you the whole way through. We give you 15 days of intense 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or whatever it is, and we give you 15 days of that. We do one leg, you do another leg. We do one paw pad, you do another paw pad. We cut one nail, you cut the other foot nail. The whole way through for 15 days until we're satisfied that you're actually competent to do it yourself. And then we watch you and assist you from behind, and we move on to the next student. So we only take 4 and we do that, and then we take another 4 at 15 days later, and then so it works on for that, 30 days as it runs. We have a tutor, we have 3 tutors on that floor at all times, and we have 8 students, sometimes 6, sometimes 5. Just depends on the time of year, and depends what we get on as students wanting to sign up for the course and whatever. We're very thorough at what we do, and we check everything going forward. All dogs are checked going out the door. They're all checked as they come in. There's a health check done on every dog before they actually touch the dog, looking over the dog, checking the dog before they put any tools on the dog. So it's very intense. So the first 15 days, we're constantly on you, making sure you're doing everything right. And then we give you a free rein, and you might be able to groom a full dog then. And from then on, then we start planning your assessments to the end. Some people get through it in the 30 days, 9 out of 10. There is the odd one that we do, and we do this. There's another school in Ireland that does this as well, a friend of mine. We make sure that we keep a day for them. So my day for the students that are just can't get the assessments completed within the time frame, and the assessments has to be done in time frame, and it's very strict. We keep a Friday for them, and we give them free tuition until we're ready for them to pass them. So it's all about it works on the students. Like, not everybody gets it straight away. Yeah. Well, there's 9 out of 10 just fly. They get it. They know what they want to do. They've come from they're like maybe elderly, or not elderly, but older students, mature students, and this is what they want. They're working as nurses, doctors, whatever it is, whatever they're doing, and they're just trying to change their career, something to do when they retire. Do you know, kind of things like that? We had a woman here last year. She was 62. Oh. She's brilliant. Yeah. But they know what they want and they go for it. And then there's other students come through, that just don't have that skill or confidence. Yeah. It's all about building confidence. And some people are not very confident. So we keep that Friday for them. And then they come out 1 day a week until we're satisfied to let them go. So we do that free. We don't charge for that.
I suppose even the dogs can sense your confidence around them and your calmness around them. So it's a really big thing to be confident in what you're doing and confident that you can do it.
Exactly. When you're working with animals, animals sense everything. And if you're a highly strung person, or you're very nervous, or your anxiety, they sense that. So they get anxious. Yeah. On the table, they're like, oh my God, they do sense it. I always say to people, come on, keep yourself calm, relax. Yes, the dogs, not all dogs cooperate and want to stand on the table for 2 hours and get groomed and all this. We try and keep it a minimum of 2 hours per dog, and then in and out, because we don't want dogs stressed out. If a student's stressed with a dog, or the student's stressed with themselves, or they're just not getting it or whatever, then the dog feels it, so the dog's going to be stressed as well. So we're trying to tell people, come on, calm down, chill out. And then once you chill and you get under it and you get that wee bit of confidence, that's what we're here to do as tutors. We're boosting your confidence to say, come on, you can do this. It's not that hard. Years ago, it was really difficult to become a dog groomer because we hadn't got the tools that we have now. Like, the tools have come on from a hand dryer, a blaster, a table that never went up and down, a pair of scissors, a pair of thinners, and a clipper and a couple of blades. Up until 9 years ago, I didn't even know what a comb attachment was. Yeah. So all these things have evolved, and it makes it a lot easier for students to actually achieve the desired grooms, because you're not having to stand and scissor dogs. No, that years ago would have taken years and years of practice. Yeah. Where now you could actually whittle it down within the 30 days and try and get them through, doing basic salon trims. And that's all we're here to teach you, is to start how to get you into your career and get you on out and run a business.
So speaking of equipment, say I was a student and I wanted to start grooming, what would you recommend I have in my kit?
In your kit, you would need a clipper, a decent table, a hydraulic table or electric table, because your back is the most important part. You're standing on your feet all day long. And if you haven't got the right equipment, if you're working with a small dog and you're down here trying to groom it, your back, you'll be done in a couple of years. So you need to get the right equipment, a decent table, a bath that can raise up, or a bath built up so that you're not bending down. And then your comb, your brush. In your student pack, you should have your comb, your brush, a decent set of scissors, and comb attachments, blades, clippers, and a trimmer, and then your blaster and your dryer is all you really need for that. And some people go out there and buy everything, and they're like going, you don't really need all that. All you need is a decent set of things, and that's all you need. Making sure you've got the right equipment is the most important thing. Like leaning over a bath, God, I couldn't do that now. My back would snap in half. So I have to have a hydraulic bath that goes up to meet my height. Years ago, we didn't have that. We were washing them in the shower tray, up the stairs in the bedroom, or in the bathroom, washing them in the shower tray because we hadn't got nothing then. But now everything's there at hand, and the equipment has evolved massively. There's loads and loads out there that you can source. Make sure you've got the right stuff. That's all I can say. And going to groom school is the best thing, because we advise you exactly what you need. There's some people out there, there's some things out there that you will never use. You might buy them, but you never use them. So we advise you what you need to get set up.
Yeah.
And then you can always branch out on the dearer sets of scissors, or if you want to compete and you're going to want to go down the show line or whatever it is you're doing, then you're going to have to invest a wee bit more. But the basic stuff, no problem.
I suppose that's maybe the difference from learning at home and going to school, is even though at the school you do your technique and things like that, it's those little nuggets of information that they wouldn't get.
They wouldn't get that off online. Yes, there is courses out there online, and I don't really agree with them courses, to be honest with you. Yes, for experienced groomers, yes, you can do an online course, somebody that knows what they're doing. But the basics in grooming needs to be hands-on. Yeah. And you need to know exactly what you're doing. Like, not all dogs are going to stand there and let you do their paw. Not all dogs are going to stand there and let you scissor around their eyes. Some dogs stand and go like this. Shih Tzus especially, and they've wee brachycephalic faces, and you're using scissors around them areas, and their eyes are bulging out of their heads. It's very dangerous. So for these online courses for new groomers, no, they should be scrapped. They're dangerous. You should be in a school, being looked after by tutors that know exactly what they're doing, and well experienced people. That's my opinion on it. And then whenever they go out into that big bad world, we source all their equipment for them. We source the best that we can, and we try and keep the cost down. We don't want them going out and spending a fortune just in case 2 years down the line they decide, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. So we source everything that we can from Christies, obviously, because they're right on our doorstep, and they have a massive array of stuff. The Green Professional brand alone, like their brushes, their combs, their scissors, their tables, their dryers, everything, compared to like if you go and shop around, you're not going to get much better of a deal. Yeah. And setting up, you want to keep that minimal, just in case you decide you don't like it in the future, and you don't, not for you, or you decide, you know what, I could sell all this stuff's now near enough making the money back that I've spent on it. Do you know that kind of way? So we source everything for our students, and we have a Christies catalogue. Everything's bought in Christies because it's right, as you know, we're in Northern Ireland. There's hardly any more suppliers around here. I just go through it, take a wee at the side of each product that they need, and then they go away and they source it themselves, or else source it through me, and I go obviously Christies to get it.
Finally, the last question I'm going to ask you, and it's by far the most important question: what are your favourite products right now?
Christian's shampoo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Their shampoo, their conditioner, their everything about them, amazing. And the reason why we do go for it now, don't get me wrong, I've used Groomer Professional for years, and I still like that shampoo, but it's the dilution rate that I go for now, because working in a school, running a school, it's very expensive. Yeah. All right. And for students that are mixing up shampoos and all, 50 to 1's very easy with those mixing bottles. So they just put in 50 parts water, 1 part shampoo that can wash 2 to 3 dogs.
Yeah.
And those mixing bottles, right? And that's the reason why I go for it, because the dilution rates, and also it's a really, really good lathering shampoo, and it cleans the dogs really, really well. Now, the biggest buyer that I buy off them is their hypoallergenic smartwash. Unbelievable. And I love it. I also love the hydrating blend. It's a brilliant shampoo as well, and it's 50 to 1. Now there's a lot of shampoos out there, and they say it's 50 to 1. Yes, maybe 8 out of 10 of them are 50 to 1, but they just don't have that cleaning power. This stuff is unbelievable. I've used a lot of shampoos over the years. I also loved Double K shampoo that Christie's done for years and years and years, but I do find this one a lot better for me and for running a school. And we don't use anything only hypoallergenic on all dogs. It's because we're working with students and we don't want any skin conditions or anything like that. So hypoallergenic, it is 50 to 1. The cleaning power in that stuff is unbelievable, and it is Chris Christensen's, and it's brilliant shampoo. That's why we use it. What other products do you like? Oh my god, amazing tricks.
Yeah.
There's bottles and bottles of it out there. You just can go out there and have a wee look around. There's bottles of it everywhere. Amazing tricks. I use it every day. It's great as well as an odor for after grooming. So whenever we're finished the bathing process and we're going down the drying process or whatever, whenever we're going to be doing out legs and things, we spray it in every dog's legs, and we fluff up those legs and spray it all over the dog's coat and fluff it up, and it leaves a lovely smell, and that lingers for days and days, and my customers love it. Love it. Amazing tricks. Can't be without it.
Right, well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. We got so much information out of that. So thank you again.
And thank you very much for having me.